hammering the ball past his old mate David Frost.
Very well taken penalty.
Rod Stewart.
There's Rod on the ball. Rod. Moro's still sewing it up at the back there, isn't he?
Yeah, here's Terry Marsh.
There's a bit of
Davis.
Oh, Steve.
Now Chris Quinton. Here's Jasper Carrott, who's a Birmingham fan.
Well, he was on the board of directors of Birmingham at one time.
Right, he was, yes.
But, that was
Nick
when
Berry.
he was. Is that Nick Berry? Nick Berry's playing, is
He's
he?
quite a useful player. He plays for the Wolf Boys Club,
yeah, he plays for the Queen Victoria, doesn't he? David Frost played in front of Queen Victoria. Jasper Carrott became
Eddie Grant
a good ball in.
Yeah. Who was in the way of
Moro, as usual, is intercepting everything, isn't he?
He looks in such good shape. I know he plays a lot of tennis. He goes skiing as well.
Yeah.
Why is he in better shape than you?
I wish I knew that. I wish I knew that.
Rick Wakeman. David Frost was way out of his goal.
Yeah.
He's got back there now. Jimmy Tarbuck.
Tarby's obviously gaining a great deal of confidence.
And I suppose Tarby mentioned that goal in the bar afterwards, will he?
Oh my God, we won't hear the last of that, will we? So going back to Jasper Carrott, of course, he was very ill at one time, and his doctor told him to get away from football as far as possible, so he became a director of Birmingham City.
Glad you said that, not me. Rod Stewart.
Good ball, Rod.
Lovely ball through.
Yes, it was. Really,
Nice
the twin pair of Ben and Stewart are playing very well, aren't they?
Nick Berry with a chance.
Headed off the line by Moro. And that's an historic event. Bobby Moore's first ever header of a football. He will be upset by that because it's slightly split his part in a bit. But
Rod Stewart has
Rod,
certainly did well to the fore in this game.
yes.
Best football moment chosen for the Scottish schoolboys team. His worst moment having to go to school to qualify.
Hello, here's a chance now. Oh,
More there again. I think Jimmy Tarper's gone off now, so we've got another substitute on.
well, he's done his bit, Jim, hasn't he?
Terry Marsh. Good effort. Ah, Frosty
Well
had it covered.
wide. Mind you, the size of Frosty, you've got to hit it well wide anyway, haven't you, really?
We did think George Best might make it. He was down to play, but there we are. Just we didn't think he'd turn up anyway. Rod Stewart. This is Steve Davis. Little tame.
What a shot then by Steve Davis. And for those of you watching in black and white, the blue is behind the green.
And it's all over.
Well, that's it.
So it finishes
it's
at
a
one
one-all
apiece.
draw. I don't think you can argue with that, really.
No, Tommy Cam giving the Frost Dons the lead, and then Jimmy Tarbuck with the penalty coming back with the equaliser in the second half. Handshakes all round.
I would have thought the Frost Dons were slightly the better side with Eddie Grant, Nigel Benn, and certainly Rod Stewart, who I thought was man of the match. The way he stroked the ball about. Him and Bobby Moore both played some superb stuff at times. And there you are. I think we'll give man of the match to Rod and hope that he lays a few quid on us after the game, Pete.
I know how much he was looking forward to playing in this game today, and he's certainly been relished playing on the Wembley turf there with David Frost. It's marvellous to see all these players coming out to help charity in this way and having a good afternoon too.
Well, I think it is wonderful because, I mean, most of them are not fit and will be suffering from now on. Well, certainly until they get back to the celebrity bar where they will dull their senses, no doubt, with a glass or two.
So the Calibre Challenge Trophy presented by Gloria Hunniford is shared then by the two captains, David Frost and Jimmy Tarbuck, two men who do an awful lot for charity. And they're also from Guinness Breweries. The managing director, Peter Lipscomb. £25,000 they're raising today in aid of handicapped children.
There they are, getting their medals from
It was Nick Berry there.
Gloria.
Gloria
Yeah.
handing out The trophies
Must be quite horrendous for her, kissing all those sweaty men.
She didn't seem to mind
as well as
kissing
being
Dick Berry too
ugly.
much, did she? Eddie Grant, Jim Davidson. Don't remember saying his name too often in the game, Jim.
No, not really, but it was good of him to turn up, wasn't it, all the way from Liverpool. Bobby Moore, yet another medal for Moore.
There's Chris Quinton from Coronation Street, Jasper Carrot.
There's Jasper.
And Terry Neal, who didn't know he was playing until late last night. And then we've got the two captains, Jimmy Tarbuck and David Frost.
And they look remarkably well, don't they?
I think they're waiting to be interviewed, and Jim Rosenthal is down there waiting to talk to them. Jim?
Well, gentlemen, very well done. A score draw, and this day is all about dreams, isn't it? You hit the net at Wembley.
Somehow I pulled a muscle as well. That was but it was a great thing, and you know, for wonderful, wonderful charity. And we've all had a great deal of fun.
And there's two coaches for handicapped children, and the response of the crowd to our game was just, well, it was delightful, wasn't it?
David, what about the penalty? What happened there, sir?
Well, I think the thing was that we had one clash in the first half, which I won on the corner, on the brilliant cross, but that penalty came with the force of Zeus, like a cannon, shot from a cannon.
Perhaps you pop up and join Brian Moore for the commentary, would you, David?
It will be a pleasure. Well, it's 11 men on each side, and may the best team win.
Now,
Well,
is this a pointer? Is this an omen? Are the Dons going to get a score draw here in 15 minutes' time when they start?
Well, if you want to talk honestly, no, I can't see that. I think Liverpool class well out today. They are the best team. I never thought I'd see better sides at Anfield. This is the best team I've ever seen, though.
Just finally, it's probably fair to say there might be one or two fitter athletes coming out now, but how hot is it out there?
It is roasting out there, and it's the start of my diet, because I've done it in out there.
It's very hot out there, but isn't it nice, I feel, both of us feel, that a British team is going to win the FA Cup final? Say what you will about Britain, we're going to win this one.
Thanks,
David, Jimmy, thanks a lot.
Cheers, good luck.
Well, there's the Wembley scene if you're getting in late. We've just been treated to a great show by the celebrities. It finished 1-1, but very soon the big match will be taking place here at Wembley, Liverpool against Wimbledon for the FA Cup 1988. The team should be coming out very shortly. I've been joined now by Dave Bassett, who 11 years ago proudly took Wimbledon out of the Southern League, Dave. Marvellous day for the club and its supporters.
Oh, tremendous. It's a crowning glory, really. I mean, I think I was reading in the programme, who would have believed 10 years ago that Wimbledon would be at Wembley? I remember coming 2 years ago when Liverpool played Everton here, and we just got into the first division, and I thought, God, we've got to play them next year.
Any regret at all that you're not actually a part of it?
Well, obviously you're disappointed that you know it's every manager's ambition to lead a team out, but I made decisions a year ago, and you can't have regrets.
Now, Jim, it's a wee bit hot in here.
It's very warm.
And it's very warm out there, clearly. And it's getting warmer.
Yeah, that's all right. Do you mind if I kick him? Because he did that to me 11 years ago in the Southern League when he was playing for Wimbledon and I was playing for Chelmsford, you see. Didn't you?
That's right, and Barnet.
And Barnet, yeah. It's warm in here, obviously, because of the lights. Personally, Elton, I think it's a great day for the Cup final. I don't think it's going to bother the players that much. You know, I mean, Frosty and Tarby, of course they're going to be warm because they're not fit. But, I mean, compared with the fitness of both sides, I think this is the perfect weather to play a cup final in, and I think most of the players would agree. They'd much sooner play in an atmosphere like this rather than it be dull or raining and overcast. This is what the cup final is all about. A beautiful day in May, lovely and warm. The crowd are in a fabulous mood because the weather's great, and the players will respond, I'm sure of it.
Talking well, Greasy. Talking well. Now,
I
look, Dave.
don't worry about the weather at all.
No, they won't.
Well, I was going to say to you, Dave, how are Wimbledon going to beat Liverpool?
Well,
if you were manager, what would you get them to do?
Play their normal game and get out and do exactly what they've been doing all year and what they've done before. They believe in what they're doing, so there's no problems about that. There'll be no talk about the weather. It's just equally as hot for Liverpool players as it is for the Wimbledon players.
Is there a fear, Jim, that because it's Wembley, because it's the showpiece of British football, that they might go out there and possibly...
There's two things they mustn't do. One is what they did against Tottenham last year in the 6th round, and that's freeze. And two, they mustn't kid themselves that because they're at Wembley that they've got to play football, because they can't. What they've got to do is play what David has said their natural game. They get the ball and they leather it up and they leather it across and they get stuck in and they do everything that the club has done, the team has done over the last few years, then they're in with a fighting chance. If they do it any other way, they've got no chance against the best team probably in the world, not only in England, but in the world. So they've got to play Liverpool at their own game. They've got to dictate it.
Jim, you're obviously looking forward to this, Dave. I know you are too. Thanks very much for joining us in here. Dave's going to make his way through and join Brian Moore shortly. The crowd are currently singing Abide With Me. Let's hear from Brian Moore.
And it remains one of the abiding moments at Wembley, one of the emotional moments too. The singing of the hymn Abide With Me. Great moments of Wembley, and you'll have caught a sight of our guest of honour today, the Royal Highness, the Princess of Wales, waiting to come out, and for the teams to be introduced to her. I can assure you there's no more popular guest of honour over the Thorning Cup final history than she. A glorious day with the temperature now well into the 80s. For this 107th FA Cup final. A fantastic competition which started way back in August with 516 teams taking part. Now whittled down excitingly to the last two, Liverpool and Wimbledon. And soon to come up the tunnel from the dressing room area, the two sides. On a glorious afternoon to all viewers in Australia watching Channel 9 in that wide world of sports. The time in Sydney coming up to midnight there. I imagine quite a good few parties developing too. Well, let's hope that the party continues here at Wembley on this glorious afternoon. We're delighted to have you with us. Well, they talk about Wembley weather, and this is it. Liverpool's 21st appearance in this famous old stadium in 15 seasons. They've won the FA Cup 3 times. And of course the first FA Cup final appearance of Wimbledon. Teams being led out by Adrian Tipton of the FA. Gould on the right, applauding the Wimbledon and the Liverpool fans. Big Dave Besant, the Wimbledon goalkeeper, the first goalkeeper ever to captain an FA Cup final side. Fashanu, Vinnie Jones is there, substitute Laurie Cunningham. The It's a glorious afternoon for a side that just 11 years ago wasn't even in the Football League. And as recently as 1983, Wimbledon were playing in the 4th division. It really is storybook stuff, and now facing a side who regard Wimbledon, or rather Wembley, as their second home. Very cheery character, Dave Besant, who lives, well, a Dave Besant goal kick from the stadium, and can see the stadium, he says, from his bedroom window. But I wonder if in his professional career he ever thought actually he'd be playing here in a cup final. Well, that day has dawned, bright and clear. Liverpool in that famous red strip of theirs, the hottest favourites in years, at 4-1 on. There hasn't been a hotter favourite since Leeds played Sunderland back here in 1973. When Sunderland upset the odds and won. Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Wales. There's Mr. Bert Minichip, the Chairman of the Football Association, on the right. But one figure missing today, Ted Croker, the General Secretary of the FA, who's unwell in hospital at the moment. He retires later this year. It's sad that Ted misses his last final in office, but we wish him a really speedy recovery. And now the national anthem. First to be presented, Liverpool, today seeking to become the first club ever to do the double of League and Cup twice. And always with a word and a joke, the Liverpool goalkeeper Bruce Grobbelaar and Steve Nicol. Gary Ablett in his first full season, finding a place at Wembley, only 22 years old, the left back. Craig Johnston, one of the substitutes. The man with the headband, of course, with 6 stitches, which he's explaining to Her Royal Highness. They both got them. Gary Gillespie and Nigel Spackman had a terrible clash of heads playing against Luton. And he's a really cheery character, Nigel Spackman, the former Bournemouth and Chelsea player. And so relaxed. Little Ray Houghton, who's added a certain dimension to Liverpool's midfield since he arrived from Oxford United. Steve McMahon, who might well have a lot to say for England in the European Championships in West Germany this summer. John Aldridge, who had the unenviable task of taking over from Ian Rush, but has done it magnificently. John Barnes. It's rare to see a cup final side as relaxed as this. Jan Molby and Peter Beardsley. The big Dane having a word here now, Jan Molby with Her Royal Highness. And of course, the one and only Kenny Dalglish. What a job he's done. And Merseyside are proud of him. Fabulous achievement. Another turn of Wimbledon. Big Dave Besant. Biggest man on the field at 6'4". Smashing moment for them, really, and really, Ian St John, every small club in the land must be saying, well, they did it, maybe we could do it as well, but 11 years ago they weren't even in the league.
Well, why not? I mean, it is a fairy tale story, and I'm sure Dave sitting beside us here must be looking at it and thinking, you know, it's marvellous for all these young lads that he's seen grow up in the Wimbledon side.
Yeah, Dave Bassett, former manager of Wimbledon, your thoughts now as you look at these pictures?
Well, they're unbelievable, really. It must be marvellous for the players because none of us 2 years ago would have ever thought we could get to Wembley. And so it's tremendous. I feel for Dave Bessant and Alan Court because really they were 4th division players and they've come through everything. They look reasonably relaxed as well.
That's the thing about that, your ex-team, they're always very confident, aren't they? Look at Cocky Bunch.
That's right. They had a few inexperiences when we was in the 2nd division, when we went to places like Manchester City and froze, and even last year in the quarter-final we froze. But I think they learned a lot from that when they won at Liverpool last year and Manchester United, and they've had some good results this year. So I think they'll enjoy today.
The referee today is Brian Hill from Kettering, 40 years old, who will be one of the linesmen in the European Championships in West Germany. Delightful, delicate shade of pink, and herself looking very relaxed. I don't think Her Royal Highness is a great football fan, but let's hope there's a treat in store for us, for her.
Juventus Napoli at 11:35, and then more snooker around midnight. We're now to Kenilworth Road for the Littlewoods Cup semi-final second leg between Luton Town and West Ham. On the face of it, West Ham would need the biggest upset since Custer's last stand to go through. 3 down they were from the home leg. Luton, of course, won the trophy last April against Arsenal, saw themselves tonight just 90 minutes from a return to Wembley. Be interesting to see how the two sides approach the match. Luton odds-on favourites, West Ham virtually written off. Our commentator, Alan Parry.
Well, Luton know that their biggest enemy tonight is complacency, and manager Ray Harford has been drumming into his players that they must treat this as a normal game. He's able to field the same team which won so convincingly at West Ham, with Ashley Grimes having recovered from a foot injury. 8 of these players were in the side which won the trophy at Wembley last season. West Ham face a near impossible dilemma. They must go on attack and try to reduce their 3-goal deficit, but if they were to concede another goal, it would surely finish them off. Well, they picked a team to reflect their difficult task. David Kelly is recalled up front. George Paris replaces Alan Dickens in midfield to allow Paul Ince some more attacking role. The referee is Mr. David Axel from Southend. So it's Luton Town in the white shirt to get us underway, attacking from right to left. West Ham have been prolific scorers in the competition this season. 5 against Derby, 4 against Liverpool, 3 away to Sunderland. So they've really got to believe that miracles can happen. Well, the Luton faithful know that this would seem to be a foregone conclusion, but they've come to cheer their team on to Wembley, they hope. Fine play, he finds Hill. Wilson takes over. Harford again, neat football. Hill once more. Brought down by Paris. And a little bit of a disagreement. Paris and Wilson getting themselves involved. The referee wants to have a word with the West Ham number 8. Also calling Danny Wilson over. Free kick taken quickly by Wilson to Breaker. Caught West Ham wrong-footed for a moment, and a fine effort by Hill. Parks right in the line of flight. Quickly taken free kick. Breaker pulling back a good cross, and Hill very sharp with the shot into the ground. It came off Wilson's head, so Breaker can't let it go behind. And he makes sure it's a throw-in rather than a corner. Brady. Brady gets it back rather fortunately. Harris, good ball. Kelly. Brady is there again, and Slater! What a fine effort that was by the 19-year-old, and a good save from Seeley. Stuart Slater scored the winning goal at Charlton. It was his first goal in the FA Cup, and nearly got an important second then. Well, that'll encourage West Ham. Grimes got it clear. As far as Ward. Teed up for Dix. But then given away. Important interception there by Potts as Luton threatened to break. Stuart Slater still only 19 and with not yet double figures as far as appearances in the first team are concerned. Harford, beautiful control on the chest. Now Wilson to Wegley, back to Harford again, in towards Black. And Parks misjudged the bounce. Well, it can be a nightmare for goalkeepers as much as outfield players, this surface. Phil Parks back in the side, 2 successive clean sheets, doing well, but it's a long time since he's played on this particular kind of surface in a competitive game, and he totally misjudged that bizarre bounce. This is Slater for West Ham. Oh, it's a good little ball. Now Ward has got away from his defender and round the goalkeeper. Can he find the net? Sadly for West Ham, the answer was no. Well, they have now twice come close, West Ham, but in their perilous position, close isn't enough. It was a lovely little ball by Slater, and he beat Seeley. Ward, it was a difficult angle, admittedly, but he'll be disappointed with the effort. Seeley out, stretching, committed himself fully. Ward could not take advantage. Big kick from Parks. Foster right underneath it, almost turned it into the path of Ward. Foster had trouble with the second header as well. Slater doing well. Dix. Foster clear. And that looks suspiciously like handball, but it breaks anyway for Kelly. And the goalkeeper did well to block the angle. There was a big shout from the West Ham contingent for a handball just before that. Again towards Ince. Kelly's there once more, and so was Seeley. So a flurry of activity there. Foster's clearance here over the head of the West Ham player. It came up there, and was that the use of a hand by Breaker? Very close to it. Harford intercepts. Looks suspiciously like offside there, Wegley, and I'm sure he would have been if he'd received it. Out to Black. The cross, but still got a corner out of it as it hit Potts on the back. Oh, Priest with the shot, and it was deflected away for another corner. It's only like 2 seasons since he last scored a goal, David Priest. The first corner was cleared, he met that really well. Goalkeeper up to fist it away from Foster. It's not out of play though. Back to Foster again. Good interception by Martin, and Priest was there again. And a fine save by Parks. Phil Parks showing splendid reactions. David Priest, the second time in the space of a minute, close to his first goal for a long time. Another corner though. Back to Priest. He really hammered it in and it was deflected. And Luton have got the goal that will surely mean a place in the final at Wembley. Harford it was who met the ball as Priest hammered it in. Whether it was deliberate or hit him is immaterial. Priest, who had won the 2 corners by his fine shots in the first place, hammered that in. It was a little flick, and it's a goal. 1-0 then to Luton. They lead by 4 goals to 0 on aggregate. And that surely has clinched things. Prince. Grimes underneath it, and now Wilson. And that's the end of the first half. And what a satisfactory way it ended. Priest doing so well in the build-up to the goal, which has surely seen Luton into the final, because they now go off at half-time, leading 1-0 on the night, but more significantly, 4-0